If you were to bite off a kneecap, how would it look?
Woodward Sports, let's go.
Hello, I'm starting this show. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Morning Wood on the Woodward Sports Network. Today, we've got quite a lot to get to. Boys, welcome. Good morning, by the way. Jeff, Adam.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How you doing, Kennedy?
I'm great. How are you guys?
We're good.
I'm good. We're both wearing green today. I mean, somewhat of green.
I mean,
Yeah, no one called me and let me know.
I don't think they're even close, but whatever.
Okay. Anyway.
Oh my God, I'm about
Sorry, we're not
It's
dressed
gonna
the
be a
same.
day.
Sorry,
I'm tearing them up.
there's a big difference. Good luck today.
Okay, you
So, a lot of people have jumped to say that Okuda is not where he should be, but yeah, they were just upset about that misplay against the Saints, basically, sounds like. But Aaron Glenn wants the fans to focus on all of the plays he did make. So, what do you guys think? Did we jump to conclusions way too soon? Adam? Let's hear.
Aaron Glenn wants us to focus on what Jeff Okuda is doing right. Now, to be fair, I think that's a good thing to do for any player.
Mm-hmm.
Having said that, can you show me what he's done right in a game? And I will come to his defense. I'll be the first one in line. That is a number 3 overall pick. The dude needs to pan out for this team. Having said that, what has he done right? I've given him the compliment that he's a very good open field tackler.
Mm-hmm.
His man-to-man coverage is sketchy, and whether that's because he doesn't understand the coverage they're playing or if there's safety help over the top or not is not my problem. My problem is he hasn't made a significant leap yet in the preseason. Now, does that mean Jeff Okuda is not going to come out over the 17-game schedule and play pretty darn good? No, it doesn't mean that at all. But Aaron Glenn asking people like myself to stop criticizing Jeff Okuda? Nobody. That's not how this works. Jeff Okuda, again, great open field tackler.
Mm-hmm.
Does some really good things. Good size. Not overwhelming on speed, but hey, good enough footwork and technique. You can move around it. What have I not seen, Jeff? In the preseason and the 9 games he was able to play last year, where I should be looking at all the great things Jeff Okuda has done. What has he done? Somebody, please. Because from my understanding, in camp, Jeff Okuda's looked really good. Keep in mind, he is going against the worst, if not the second worst receiving core in the NFL. Well, Adam, that's not fair. Well, what's even worse is that it's not only he looks good in camp. No. For somehow, some way, this offensive line is actually doing a very good job of protecting Jared Goff in camp. 4, 5, 6 seconds in the pocket. And there's still no separation. Now, does that mean we have shutdown corners? Or does it mean our wide receivers are really bad? I'll let you guys tell me that. Go ahead, Jeff.
I think, let me just start by saying this. I think Aaron Glenn is the best thing that could have happened to Jeff Okuda in his career, because people don't understand, obviously being a former cornerback, very good cornerback, may I add, 41 career interceptions, that's a good voice for Jeff Okuda, but it doesn't change the fact that we need to critique, because let's take a look at the facts. He was taken 3rd overall, and let's go through cornerbacks who were taken top 5. All right, let's just go through the last, 10 years. You got Denzel Ward in 2018. He was 4th by the Browns. He pretty much made an impact as soon as he got on the field. Now going to Jalen Ramsey, 5th overall by the Jaguars in 2016. And 2011, Patrick Peterson, 5th overall to the Cardinals. So these are guys taken higher than Jeff Okuda and performed better once they touched the football field. So and I'm not saying Jeff Okuda's a bad player or whatnot, but he was taken 3rd overall. The expectations are there. And with those kind of players in the top 3, I mean, we expect the highs to be highs, incredibly high, and the lows to be, subtle. But obviously, he's gone through struggles, and we get that. I don't like the Darius Slay comparison. Slay was taken in the 2nd round. This is a man who was picked to play right away, and with a cornerback room that isn't very deep. He was facing, good competition right away. So
could you go over your list again over the last 10 years?
Yes.
Cornerbacks taken in the top 5. And
so,
I'll have my my not overreaction, but my reaction to each corner. Go ahead.
Okay, so we'll start from 2018. It was Denzel Ward, Ohio State, 4th overall, former Ohio State.
Good corner.
Yes, 4th overall, may I add.
Good
Okay.
corner.
Jalen Ramsey, 2016. He was 5th overall to the Jaguars.
Very good corner.
Yes. 2011, Patrick Peterson from LSU, 5th overall to the Cardinals.
He never lived up to that number. He was good on return early on in his career. Nothing special. I think we all love Patrick Peterson as a football player.
Right.
But he was never a top shutdown corner.
But let me add this. Patrick Peterson was first-team All-Pro as a rookie. So,
Yes,
think about that
his rookie year,
compared to...
he was dynamic.
Right. So now we're giving Jeff Okuda the excuse to give him a year, give him 2-3 years. It doesn't work like that for players, especially Jeff Okuda, who people talked about the most disciplined corner coming out of college, didn't have a PI, incredibly athletic. All the attributes were there. It's just him putting it together. And I think, although I love Aaron Glenn, I just don't agree with the point. We need to start looking at the positives because the positives don't show
see
up.
them. I just want to see the positives. Somebody show me the positives, and I'll jump on the train again, guys. This is a number 3 overall pick. This is not a game. This guy needs to work out for this team. He needs to turn into a Jalen Ramsey, a slightly better version of a Denzel Ward. Hell, give me Denzel Ward at this point. I'll be very happy if Jeff Okuda turns into that. But what positives does Aaron Glenn see that I'm not seeing? And I'm trying really hard because I'm already frustrated enough that we took a corner, number 3 overall, who wasn't Champ Bailey, Deion Sanders, or hell, even Jalen Ramsey at this point.
And it's not his fault.
And Jalen Ramsey, keep in mind, early on in his career, was in an AFC title game with the Jacksonville Jaguars, and he was a big part of that defense. Before all of the drama and all of the, oh my goodness, I'm the best corner in the league. Before all of that, before the move to LA, guy was dynamic, impactful. Oh, well, Adam, he played under, Matt Patricia. Okay, we changed it. He's gone against 1s, 2s, and 3s in the preseason. I don't know. I just want to see the positives. I always go into preseason games looking for positives. I haven't seen much from Jeff Okuda. Outside that, something I already know, he's a very good open field tackler. Super great character, dude. I will not question his character, intangibles, none of that. Show me something. Show me something. Show me something, Aaron.
And let me add this. It's not Jeff Okuda's fault he was taken, obviously, by Bob Quinn. But the expectations are there. You guys have to understand, if you're taking top 3 as a cornerback, or any position for that matter, the pressure's on. We can't give you the excuse of, I don't know, he didn't, it wasn't his fault. Quinn took him too high. At the end of the day, he was taken 3rd overall, and the expectations are there. And I understand, we have to understand this is his first NFL training camp. Obviously, last year was a weird year. He was injured and due to COVID, but plays you make in training camp, we're looking at, preseason, regular season, in-game action. Like Adam said, I agree about the point. We don't have very talented receivers. Whatever you're doing in training camp, that's that. Come preseason, getting your ankles broken by Najee on that play, coupled 2 aggressive plays, overcommitted. He admitted to it. Hey, I got to work on being, taking calculated risks. Aaron Glenn tries to tell him that. And he just has to learn. I think he's early in the process. He's not ready to play like guys like, Patrick Peterson, his rookie year. These guys come out ready to play.
You need him to.
But you need him to, right?
You need him to. This is not Jeff Okuda is a bust. Oh my goodness. Throw the paper away. What are we going to do? No. But I just want to see the positives. Detroit Lions beat writer Corey Woods, our very own Corey Woods, every day. Keep up with his articles. Keep up with his recap videos. Jeff Okuda has done well in camp. I know a lot of practice warriors. They don't transition onto the field. This team really needs Jeff Okuda to be almost an all... basically, he needs to be a Pro Bowler year 2.
Yes.
To justify the number 3 overall pick. Now, does he blossom in year 3? Great. Here's the problem it presents. If Jeff Okuda is a late bloomer, it'll be very difficult to extend him at a reasonable price. If he blossoms this year, and you have 2-3 years of good football, then it makes a decision tough. Like, all right, do we extend the guy? What's his market value? Is he going to cost us Jalen Ramsey money? Like, Jeff Okuda needs to pan out. It's that simple.
I agree.
All right, well, speaking of finding the positives, up next we're going to be talking about one of our friends that has moved to LA, or not our friend, depending on who you are, who has moved to LA and found some positives there. So stick right here with us. We're talking about it next. This is Woodward Sports.
Tony is a third-generation logger that has a simple, practical approach to life and work. That's why his Coast DX342 knife is perfect for him. The stainless steel blade is rust-resistant and made for all-weather use. And the double roll-lock safety ensures that it will never inadvertently close when he doesn't want it to. That's why Coast is trusted tough.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Morning Wood. We're so glad to have you here. Thank you for hanging out with us this morning. So if you didn't see it, Stafford was ESPN's cover story. So regardless of how you feel about him, I think it was actually a really awesome read, and the video that went with it was also awesome. It doesn't matter. It was good journalism. It's a great story. I recommend it. But towards the end of the story, it talks about how the Rams' expectations are Super Bowl, and even Stafford was talking about he wants to be in as many Super Bowls as possible. So do you guys think that's even possible based on his situation in LA? Jeff, let me know.
First off, I want to say how ESPN must love guys in LA. I mean, I don't understand. He goes to the Los Angeles Rams. He's all over the media. They're running him like a presidential campaign. It makes no sense. But I will start by saying this. I'm happy he's finally happy because I watched the video, and his wife, Kelly, made a good point. She said, football just wasn't fun anymore for him. And, I get that. You're in one city for so long, going through so many regime changes, and you're not necessarily having success. I understand from that point. But he has to understand, which I know he does. There's expectations, real expectations. Getting traded, going to Sean McVay, and them dumping their quarterback because he wasn't good enough. Like, Jared Goff wasn't no slouch, but he wasn't good enough. They didn't have the success they wanted to with him. Now getting Stafford, they're expecting a Super Bowl berth, or at least close to it. And I know he feels that pressure. Going to running back injuries are affecting them, and now they're traded for Sony Michel. But at the end of the day, we got to be happy for him because he's out of Detroit. Both sides won. We got 2 first-round picks at a quarterback. It was the trade that had to happen. But at the end of the day, the expectations are rising. I know Matthew's going to feel it, and I'm curious to see what he does with this defense and this team around him because the media is going to tear him a new one if it doesn't work out. We both know that.
Well, here's where I am baffled by media just in general. I am willing to sit up here and say Matthew Stafford is in the best situation he's ever been in his career. Ever. Best head coach. I would say supporting cast, you could make an argument, but it'll probably be very close. Defense, it's not even close. The best defense he's ever had. Okay. Now, what does that mean for Matthew Stafford? Well, this cover story, this how it all happened, this, oh my goodness, everything is magical in LA. I'll remind everybody, 0 division titles, 0-3 in the playoffs, significantly got worse over each playoff game. He had a very good first one, pretty bad second one, a very bad third one. Did I mention the last 7 quarters in the playoffs, he hasn't thrown a touchdown? The last 7. Oh, wait. There's more. I hate to be the guy. 8-67 against the winning teams. There are 3, potentially 4 winning teams. No, not 4, but in that division, there are 4 winning teams. The Arizona Cardinals could be dark horses. They've loaded up on defense. They have Kyler Murray, DeAndre Hopkins. Russell Wilson in Seattle. They have Russell Wilson. They'll figure it out. The San Francisco 49ers. If Jimmy Garoppolo can play anything like you expect him to play, they're a 9-win football team. You plug in Trey Lance midway into the year, they're probably a 10, 11-win team, given he plays well. This is a loaded division, yet I'm supposed to believe that because this guy is in a better situation, his old habits aren't gonna be exposed. I mean, it blows my mind.
It's a big sample size.
The national reaction out in LA. And I'll agree, Goff was that bad that you have to get rid of 2 first-round picks in the future to just get him off your books and bring in another guy. And Stafford is an upgrade to Jared Goff. And I think Stafford in this situation, has a better chance of actually accomplishing something. But, again, he's had his opportunities in Detroit. Now, again, you know me. I tell it how it is. This isn't Detroit. This is L.A. No, what does that matter? What does that mean, Adam? In L.A., the last time they won a playoff game was, last year. Not 1990, what? 1993, 1991?
Yep.
Last year. Without Jared Goff starting the game.
Yeah.
Against who? Division
A good
rivals,
team.
Seattle. Guys. Again, I'm all for this Matthew Stafford situation. I think he's really I think he can really do something in LA given the situation. But let's not forget what he is. Until he proves you wrong, he is what he is. I say this about Russell Westbrook. You can take all the triple doubles and you know where to put them. Irrelevant. They don't make his teams better. It doesn't result in championship basketball. Matthew Stafford, he's had multiple good teams around him. He's choked the division multiple times. He's lost multiple playoff games. He's had opportunities in big games. So when he says, I want to be able to play in more big games, maybe that's what he means is I want to be in more big games on a consistent level. Every team in my division is very good, so that's 6 important games. Ideally, we're going to be in the playoffs my first year. That's an important game. If we win it, that's another important game. Okay? I can get that. But this national love fest over a quarterback, again, that wasn't able to deliver even when he had the people's coach, Jim Caldwell, my buddy, my best friend. Coach, I respect you so much. Couldn't get it done. Jim Schwartz, oh my goodness. I'll flip a table. Loses his mind. Couldn't win anything. Come on, guys. Can we not try to flip the story on Stafford? Make him prove the narrative wrong. Not he's walking into L.A., he's best friends with Sean McVay and his girlfriend, and everybody's buddy, and we were in Cabo having a drink, and then we just traded for Matthew, and oh my goodness, my heart that night. What the hell is that?
That was the weirdest part of it all for me, I think, was just how much Sean McVay was just like flexing that they were like blackout drunk. I felt it was very bizarre. I loved the entire story and the video until it got to that part. He was just like, yeah, like, the night got a little blurry. Like, I don't even remember some of the text messages that I sent. I was like, should you say that when
It's just
you were,
premature
trade?
celebrating over nothing. Like, I think the...
Well,
Like, I was
again,
blackout drunk when we traded you. Awesome.
Again, Matthew Stafford. Can we all agree in the room?
it's an upgrade.
He is in a much better situation.
Yes.
I mean, I
The
could have
best
made that decision.
best head coach
blackout.
he's ever had.
Mm-hmm.
And now whether you want to say Sean McVay is great or just good, it's better than what Detroit's had in the last 12 years.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, move on. Offensive talent. I have injury concerns. Cooper Kupp, Cam Akers out for the year. Cooper Kupp, is he going to play 17 games? I'm not sure. But they just traded for Sony Michel, which is something we'll talk about a little later.
Mm-hmm.
But this team is in a win-now mode, and their expectation, Kennedy and Jeff, is to win a Super Bowl. Sean McVay didn't give up 2 future first-round picks to come get Matthew Stafford a playoff win. They're trying to go to back-to-back NFC Championship games and position themselves to making a run at for a Super Bowl. That was the whole logic of the trade. Again, you can ignore Matthew Stafford 8-67 against winning teams, 0-3 in the playoffs, 0 division titles. You can ignore all of that and say, hey, he's in a different situation now. He'll change. It's year 13. I know what you are. You're not changing. You're the same quarterback. Can you play better? Sure. Can your coach put you in situations where you don't have to throw late interceptions in meaningful games? Yes. Does that mean this is seal it in the books, we're Super Bowl champs? No. Stafford's got to win some away games this year to really even earn the respect of his fan base out in LA. You got to go to Seattle and win this year.
Yep.
You have to go to San Francisco, compete, try to win. You lost, like, this team cannot. You know why Jared Goff got traded, guys? Because they lost to Nick Mullins and the San Francisco 49ers. A team that had no business beating them. But Goff just stunk it up. 3 interceptions. Unacceptable. That's when Sean McVay gave up on Jared Goff. Do I think Stafford's going to play that bad? No. Do I think he's an MVP candidate? Oh, no. No, but, again, he can have a very good season. He could probably win a playoff game or 2 over these next 2 years. But he's the same quarterback until he walks out there, wins an NFC championship game, and then you say, wow, Detroit, you had 12 years, you couldn't figure that out. That's when I'll be on that train. I'm not going to absolve Stafford of everything. It wasn't all just his fault. But he was the quarterback who touched the ball 60 times every single game throughout his career. He has the most impact than any other position in football.
Right.
That's the position he plays. He has to be held accountable too.
I think the division argument's important because, like you said, going away and this division, man, like this isn't the NFC North. This isn't playing the quarterbackless Bears and the Vikings.
When you're 0-4 against Mitchell Trubisky, I question you.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
You got 4 teams in this division that probably make the playoffs. If not,
but Adam, Matt Patricia blew week 1 against the Bears. You don't understand. They blew the lead. What the hell was Stafford doing in the 4th quarter? Couldn't he keep the ball away from him? Oh, no, I forgot 3-and-out, 3-and-out. Oh. Let's not talk about that.
All right, so obviously Sean McVay made a very important decision, but someone else also made a very important decision that was released yesterday. We will talk about it when we come back from break. This is Woodward Sports.
I'm looking to bring on another HVAC tech right now.
We are recruiting 5 to 10 techs a month.
We're looking to grow and expand.
Every new tech we hire is from Northwestern Tech.
The hands-on training is fantastic.
They're always my first call.
We love hiring Northwestern Tech grads.
They come out trained and ready to work.
Our program is only 10.5 months, and our next classes are starting soon. So why wait?
I'm looking to hire
a graduate
of Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Welcome back, everyone. You are watching The Morning Wood on the This is the first time this week, you guys. It's not, improvement. This is The Morning Wood on the Woodward Sports Network. Here we go. All right, so Emani Bates finally made his decision. He will be going to Memphis, and he chose it over our very own Michigan State. So tell me about Penny Hardaway's coaching staff and how that could have swayed his decision, Jeff.
Let me start by saying that they got a steal because the number 1 player in the state, 3rd on ESPN Top 100. This guy's a beast. He's 6'9". What is he, 18 years old? But let me more importantly talk about Penny Hardaway and what he's building at Memphis because adding Rasheed Wallace, adding Larry Brown, respectable guys. This is what, especially with the NIL, Adam, kids, Emani Bates, when they're looking to where to go to college, to play college basketball or, to compete, they're looking for a good support system. That's why a lot of players used to go to Duke. You had a chance to win. You had a great support system, great coach, great program. Now, what Memphis is building with the amount of respect, Larry Brown, the only coach to win an NCAA championship and an NBA championship, that guy has respect in every room he's in. And Rasheed Wallace, that guy's a player's coach. Every player would love to have a moment with Rasheed and have to talk to Rasheed about the game. That's what players want. So, it started last year. I think they had 4, ESPN Top 100 guys commit to Memphis, 3 or 4 guys, and now this year, Emani Bates. It's going to be a trend. Memphis is trending towards one of those programs that are picking up more top recruits. So, it's credit to Penny Hardaway. I mean, he a former All-Star. He's no slouch either. One of the greatest point guards. So that's what players want. They want that support system. They want to go play with guys that they can relate to them. Penny can teach them. Rasheed can teach them. Larry Brown knows everything. So it's just appealing to these players, man. I think it's as easy as that. Now Emani Bates can make money while he's in college. So it's a best of both worlds. And I think he'll probably be in the league in another 2 years. So good for him.
Emani Bates and this entire decision really tells me a lot about just how much trouble the entire state of Michigan, meaning up in East Lansing and in Ann Arbor, are going to be affected going forward in recruiting.
Mm-hmm.
If you're convincing me a local Ypsilanti kid couldn't decide between playing for his favorite team and MSU, commits, and he's gone, goes to Memphis. Penny Hardaway, I'll remind everybody, and you did such a great job of explaining it, Jeff, is building something very, very special in Memphis. It may not translate in the next year or two.
Right.
But that program could be the next Kentucky, the next North Carolina. Penny Hardaway is a problem for every single college basketball head coach right now. It is a problem.
Imagine him in your kid's living room talking to
Penny
him.
Hardaway, one of the smoothest ball handlers.
Yes.
Like, guys, this is Juwan Howard. Nobody respects Juwan Howard because of his game. They respect him because of what he accomplished in the league,
right,
to an extent of the leader he was. Penny Hardaway's a baller. Emani Bates, if I want to make, a physical comparison, he looks like Kevin Durant going to Texas. Gifted offensively.
6'9", 6'10".
He can shoot the ball. He's basically almost 6'10". They list him at 6'9". He's pretty close to 6'10". Whatever. Take it either way. He doesn't have a strong build, which, again, he can develop into like a Kevin Durant did. I mean, how you lose a player like that, for me, really, really tells me what could happen in the future just in college basketball. It doesn't just affect the state of Michigan. It affects every program. You're able to pull the #1 recruit from his hometown, from the university that he was dreaming of going to growing up. That sends a powerful message. This sends a powerful message.
And I think it has to do a little bit. Like, we love Tom Izzo. Juwan Howard's building something special, but I think players are slowly getting a little sick of that coaching style. Like, as much as I love Tom Izzo, players can go to Memphis or go to Michigan, relate with Juwan Howard, relate with Penny Hardaway. Like, it's just a different environment for these guys. And I think Michigan, they're bringing on some guys this year. They got a couple top recruits, but I think Emani Bates, it was just a business decision in general. He's going to play with, a great coaching staff, for a great coaching staff, and he's going to be able to make money. And like Adam said, they could easily be one of those long tenured programs over the next 10 years with success. So he's going there, and like I said, I wouldn't look at it as much, because Michigan's always had a problem landing those top guys. Not Michigan State rather. I mean, they've always found guys hidden gems like Cassius Winston, and just coming out playing well. Like, those guys come out of nowhere. I wasn't expecting Emani Bates. He committed to MSU, decommitted. I would have been genuinely surprised if he went to Michigan State and stayed there. Michigan would have made a lot of sense. Obviously, people like playing for Juwan Howard, but I'm not genuinely surprised.
Are you happy that he chose Memphis over the G League? Do you think that was the right decision?
I don't know. I don't know if it was like the right decision, because, again, he knows more than me. But at the end of the day, Adam, like, if you're making money in college, players, honestly, I don't think it matters as much, because the Jalen Green argument last year was, Cade is going the collegiate way. He's playing with his brother, who's an assistant coach, and he's not going to be making this NIL money. But with Jalen Green, he went and made money. It's different now. You know what I mean? Like, Emani Bates can make that money. He's the #1 top 3 player in the ESPN top 100. He's going to have endorsements. He's going to have advertisements no matter where he goes.
Yeah, the G League aspect is no longer as appealing, because now if you're good enough, you can pull the cachet to command not just $150,000 over a year. No, you can double, triple, 4 times that, especially when you're the #1 overall recruit. So he's gonna go down to Memphis, treated like a king. Will they compete for an NCAA championship? We'll see. It's kind of irrelevant. He's just there for a year to develop, grow, and then go to the NBA. So, again, reminds me of Kevin Durant. I don't think as gifted offensively, though. Kevin Durant had it all coming in. He could do it all. He just couldn't. There was a lot of physical reasons why he couldn't dominate the league year 1 and 2. But, I mean, he proved it over his career. Size is only one aspect of the game of basketball. Again, I don't think he was ever going to commit back to Michigan State. I think long-term, this is kind of a warning signal to both programs. Like, hey, you could have the #1 prospect in your backyard. I bet you any money we can pull him. And I think NIL is going to play a big part of that. So Michigan and Michigan State really need to reevaluate. how they're going to move forward, not next year, the year after. We're talking like a 3, 5, 10-year outlook. Because Juwan Howard, they already pulled the #1 recruiting class. Juwan Howard's doing fine.
Yeah.
He's building a very good program. The point is, Emani Bates and players like Emani Bates shouldn't be able to walk out of the state that easily and decommit when you have two programs that are historically very good basketball programs. One over the last, let's say, 30 years, the other over the last 15, 20 years. So that is, it didn't surprise me. It just didn't surprise me. I'm happy he didn't go to the G League, though. I think going to college, getting that networking lifestyle experience, not taking a charter bus to all your games, great decision. Good decision.
Do you think it's possible that these NIL deals will maybe keep players in college longer, or you think they'll still be leaving as soon as they do?
The good ones, maybe. Not the very good ones. The guys that are just one and done, who are projected lottery picks, they're taking the 25, 40 million.
Yeah.
They're not staying another year in college for a few, maybe 1, 2 million, and potential to get injured. You'd rather get injured in the NBA. It's guaranteed contracts. So you're getting that 40 mil the second you're drafted. You're good. Okay, now what?
Has to just do with if player feel like he needs more time to develop. I think at the end of the day, like Adam said, if you want to go make money right away, they're leaving after their freshman year. It might even change. Like I'm hoping in a couple of years, this age to enter the NBA draft goes down to 18, so we can get Emani Bates going straight to the league. But till then, yeah, it's probably not going to change.
Yeah, I want to clarify something. No, it's not that Michigan tried to recruit Emani Bates. It's just a warning signal. Like, hey, Michigan knew Michigan State was going to get that. It wasn't even a debate. They didn't make the effort. Beeline didn't make this stems years ago. It's not the point. The point is, when the #1 overall prospect just so happens to live in your backyard, I question how he's able to leave. And there are two programs that are very good programs. And neither of them were able to make it happen, and one of them he decommitted from. That is, again, it's not alarming next year, the year after. No, this is like a 5, 10-year outlook. Hey, how do we prevent that guy and the future guys like him from going to play for a Kentucky, a Memphis, a Duke, a North? Like, that's the whole point. Is how do you prevent that from happening in the future?
Yeah. It seems like some people in the chat have some tea on the whole situation. So it says, also, Emani decommitted from MSU because he got in a fight with another kid that's on the team next year. He was Emani's teammate in high school. So it seems like he already didn't like someone on the team. Don't know how true that is, but from the chat. And then
I know somebody who's very well tied into Michigan State, and even after the fight, the consensus around the room was still, that's not going to be the ultimate factor. It was, NIL was passed. That everybody should have decommitted if you were that good the moment NIL was announced. You should have decommitted and reconsidered offers, because they're like, all right, I know personally I'm going to be in college 1 year. Kansas, you're going to give me 1.5 mil. Memphis, 2.3. Michigan State, only 1.1. No, get the hell out of here. I'm not considering you. I'm only going to be in college for a year. Let me go get the bag. I'm going to be a star. Basketball's about a game of stars, so I'm going to shine either way wherever I go. People are going to put the spotlight on me. Cade had the spotlight at Oklahoma State. So, again, money is a big factor in this, and I do think, again, it's very attractive when a coach like Penny Hardaway comes and visits you. He gives you not only the coaching and the player development side, but Memphis is well known for their boosters, and they will take care of Emani Bates. Plain and simple.
All right, well, super fun talking college hoops with you guys. We have a little bit more college talk to discuss after this, but not hoops. We're going to be talking college football. Michigan football starts in 10 days, but before we go, Jeff, do you have a friend you can tell us about?
Yes. Let me tell you about Northwestern Tech, because, listen, let me have a moment with you. All right, start a new career in an industry that is always essential. The heating and cooling industry. Learn more today by visiting northwesterntech.edu.
Okay, you thirsty little spin goblins. I want you to pedal into the next dimension. Spin it! Spin! spin! Uh-oh! Carmen's falling behind. Let's give her the hiss of shame. Spin! Spin! Spin till you bleed!
Don't ride the bike of shame. Come to Planet Fitness and find your own lane with tons of equipment, free fitness training, and no hissing. Join today for just $10 a month.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Morning Woodward Show on the Woodward Sports Network. Thank you so much for tapping in with us. We appreciate you being here. Like I said, Michigan football kicks off in 10 days. Woohoo. So, we've talked about it before. Will Jim Harbaugh have a chance at beating OSU this year? And what do you guys think their win-loss record will be come the end of the season?
I'll start. So, if you look at their schedule, it's a relatively easy schedule to start. You got Western Washington, Northern Illinois, Rutgers, and then the season kind of like turns. Granted, again, away to Wisconsin, away to Nebraska. They got work to do there come October. But again, you're looking at 6 winnable games. So ideally, that's already what? 5-1 if they blow one of them. Or 6-0 and everybody's, oh my God, Michigan. But let's like backtrack a little bit before I give you my win-loss record. Michigan, for the first time under Jim Harbaugh, is going into the season with 0 expectations. The guy came in, instantly made them national contenders, not just in the polls, but on the field. They went into the final week of the season multiple times, ranked 2nd and 3rd against Ohio State. Oh, they lost. It doesn't matter. Yeah, you're right. It doesn't matter. But they showed up as one of the best teams in college football for those years. And again, last year, COVID year 2 and 4, will not disregard it, but it was a bad year. You gotta forget about it. Ideally, I think they win 8, but I don't think Jim Harbaugh can survive with any win count unless he beats Michigan State and they're competitive against Ohio State. Now, if they go out and they walk into Ohio State, they're 10-1, and oh my goodness, we might make the college football playoff, we might make it the Big Ten championship. Do I see that happening? Probably not. Probably not. Cade McNamara is a starting quarterback. Don't know what you're getting out of McCarthy. He's Michigan hasn't figured out the quarterback situation. It's the reason why they haven't accomplished anything under Jim Harbaugh outside of being a respectable program that wins 9-10 football games every single year outside of last year. All right, so what does that mean for them this year? Well, I think they got to beat Michigan State or you fire Jim Harbaugh that week. I don't care if they walk into Michigan State, 7-0. They lose to Michigan State. Whether they're 7-0 or 0-7 going into it. They lose another game to Michigan State and they go down 2-0 to Mel Tucker in that rebuild. I can't defend that anymore. I can't help Jim Harbaugh there. So I think this team is a 9-win team. You want to add the bowl game, they probably can get to 10 or 9 at the max with a bowl win. But I think anywhere from 8 to 10 is, I think, a fair number given how easy their schedule is opening up. It's literally the first 6 games. I could make an argument they win all of them by a touchdown. Outside of away to Wisconsin, I'm not sweating. Rutgers, Northern Illinois, Washington, Western Michigan. Come on, guys. It's a super easy schedule, but then again, it gets difficult come October. You got away to Michigan State, home to Indiana, away to Penn State. You don't do well there. Away to Maryland. We all saw what happened last year. Ohio State, home to Ohio State. Again, it's tricky. It's so easy to sit up here and say they're gonna have a down year. They were 2-4 last year, but really look at what happened in the offseason. Don Brown gone, and I think that alone is what got Jim Harbaugh another year or two, because the Don Brown project wiped out after year 3 when they gave up 60. When they got a 60 piece from Ohio State just on crossing routes, Don Brown should have gotten fired that day. But no, they didn't. So, I think they'll improve. Jim Harbaugh knows damn well he's on the hot seat. And I think coming into a season with 0 expectations, it's the year where they maybe win 8-9 games and they pull off an upset late against Ohio State. If there was ever a year for Michigan to beat Ohio State, it was the year that nobody had any expectations of them outside of fire Jim Harbaugh.
I think 8 to 9 wins is rightfully so. But let me start by saying this: the pressure is on Jim Harbaugh. I think so is a little bit of expectations, like you said, because he needs that away game to Michigan State might be the biggest game to start that season, because like you argued, they could easily win the first 6 games or so. Obviously, they're going to win 8, 9, 10 games with a bowl game you can add in there, but that game away to Michigan State, if they lose to Mel Tucker, now we could start by saying as long as they're competitive with Ohio State, because realistically, you got Cade McNamara. You expecting a guy who threw 5 touchdowns last year to come out and beat Ohio State? You might be crazy, but to lose to Michigan State would be so upsetting for this program, and I wouldn't be surprised if Jim Harbaugh got fired that week, because losing twice, that was the thing. You could beat MSU, you lose to Ohio State. Now if you're losing to both, you got to go.
I can't agree with people in the chat. I'm sorry. No, Michigan State is a more important game this year than Ohio State, and I'm going to tell you why. You lose that game, Jim Harbaugh is done.
It's hard to come back from that.
He needs to go out. He needs to leave that night. You cannot start 0-2 against a Michigan State program we all acknowledge is in a rebuild. You cannot start 0-2 against Michigan State. You do, you're done. I don't want to hear this Ohio State is more important. You haven't beaten Ohio State more than 3 times in the last 21 years. Don't talk to me about we need to beat Ohio State. Go tell Lloyd Carr. Go tell Rich Rod. Go tell Brady Ho. Go tell all these guys to beat them. How'd they fare? What, 1 win? One in their last 10, 1 in their last 12 meetings, something like that? I don't want to hear it. Jim Harbaugh walked in to a program that could never beat Ohio State. He hasn't beaten them yet. Why isn't Jim Harbaugh beating Ohio State yet? You haven't competed with Ohio State since maybe 2004, realistically. And the one time you did beat them, they were 6-6, and that was the year that Fickle got fired. They brought in Urban Meyer. You know what Ohio State did the next year, guys? They went 12-0. You beat them on a 6-6 down year. Fickle was already, the writing was on the wall. They were a horrible team. Urban Meyer walks in year 1 undefeated. And the only reason they don't compete for a national title is because of the sanctions that were put on Ohio State. I don't want to hear anything about we need to beat Ohio State. You'd like to beat Ohio State. You need to beat Michigan State. You need to actually beat Penn State too. Franklin, Penn State had a down year last year. Don't you dare walk in there when let's say they're a good team by come November against Penn State and they're like in the top 12 in the rankings. You better beat Penn State, because you gotta carry as much momentum into Ohio State as possible. Now, again, is beating Ohio State very important for Michigan as a program? Yeah. But over the last 30 years, you've maybe won 21, 22 of the last 30 times you've played them. It's not much of a rivalry. And that's where my frustration with the Michigan program is. Such a great brand. Historically a good football team, never great, never in Alabama, never a Clemson, hell, never an LSU. Hell, never a USC or a Miami. They're very similar to Texas and USC now, post Pete Carroll out in California. But the brand is what keeps everybody so locked into Michigan. But they've always been like this. Outside of '97, what have they accomplished? 03? I just picked out 2 dates, 2 years in the last 24 years. That's your program. I'm glad expectations are down. I think they can still win 8, 9, 10 football games. Not because they're overwhelmingly talented. I think Jim Harbaugh is a good head coach. And I made the comparison to his first 6 years to Dabo Swinney. And you know what the difference was? Year 7, Dabo Swinney got Deshaun Watson. And that changed the program. They lost the Natty, then they won the Natty. Then, you know who followed up Deshaun Watson, guys? Trevor Lawrence. Natty. Lost the Natty. 4 national title appearances in a 5-6 year span. After his first 6 years. You want to know the strength of schedule difference, since you guys want to stroke off Dabo Swinney and, oh my God, he's done a great job. He had the same amount of 10-win seasons as Jim Harbaugh. He won 1 more bowl game than Jim Harbaugh did in those first 6 years. And here we are, ready to ride out probably the best coach you've had prior to Lloyd Carr, because you have this expectation that you're supposed to be some great program that you never were. Schembechler? What? How many shared titles were they? Don't bring up Bo. Legend. Good. You know, you can remember him all you want. The tradition of the university, great. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. You go find me a replacement better than Jim Harbaugh, I'll tell you do it. There isn't one right now.
No.
There isn't.
That's my thing with Harbaugh. So he was supposed to be like the Lord and Savior of Michigan. He was supposed to turn around the program. Oh, we got an NFL coach to come coach our college kids, blah, blah, blah. But where is he going wrong? And I want to know if you think Ryan Day is out coaching Jim Harbaugh, or is he still potentially riding off of my boy Urban Meyer's coattails?
Could you repeat that again?
Is Ryan Day out coaching Jim Harbaugh?
No, Ryan Day took over an Urban Meyer program that was probably as dominant as Alabama in his time there. Now, this is Ryan Day's year to... Well, let's figure it out, buddy. Because you walked into Dwayne Haskins. Justin Fields sat in your lap on a transfer. Now what are you going to do? You going to start the 17-year-old freshman?
Which they're planning to, I read.
What are you going to do? Ohio State's going to be very good. But are they going to be natty good? They haven't won the natty. They haven't won a national title under Ryan Day. He hasn't accomplished what Urban Meyer has. So Ryan Day still has a lot to prove. Now, that doesn't mean he's not a very good coach. He is. He's a very good coach. But he has expectations of winning a national title at Ohio State. Jim Harbaugh's trying to win a Big Ten. Understand the difference. Michigan is not that program. The tradition is, the reality isn't. And the sooner you accept that, the sooner you'll enjoy your Saturdays.
I like it. Thank you for your insight, Adam. So coming up next, we've got to talk about our friend Jim Leland. He is cautious about JV possibly making a return. We will tell you why up next on the Woodward Sports Network. See you later.
Welcome to the Call Sam Chopper Shop, where you can win a custom-built chopper while helping our veterans at the same time.
Watch as the Bad Pig Custom Team turns this bike into a one-of-a-kind classic chopper.
And when it's finished, we'll be donating the bike to Volunteers of America Michigan to raffle off in support of our vets.
A great cause to give back to those who've given so much.
Watch for Call Sam Chopper Shop episodes on our social media channels and get your raffle ticket today at callsam.com/chopper shop.
Welcome back, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us on the Morning Wood this morning. All right, so we need to get into this. Jim Leland, who's actually from my hometown, Perrysburg, Ohio, shout out, has warned against Verlander's potential return. He said that we have to be careful what we pay for in sentiment. So, Jeff, tell me if you want JV to return to Detroit.
Jim Leland is right in a way, because as much as we love 35, all right, Justin Verlander, number 2 overall pick in 2004 draft, like all 13 seasons for the Detroit Tigers he played, we can appreciate. And that goes same for Golden Tate with the Lions. We can appreciate these good times. But sometimes it's better to just move on. All right, and that's key, because where Justin Verlander is at this point of his career and where the Detroit Tigers are at this point of the franchise are just two different things. Like Justin, you know, if he were to come to the Detroit Tigers, we got all these young pitchers in this bullpen. We got guys that need to be brought up. It's tough because you're asking him to take pitches away from other guys. Come in, what is he, 36 years old, off of Tommy John surgery. He hasn't even gotten fully healthy yet. And people are expecting, hey, let's bring back Justin Verlander. It'd be great. And I get it from a mentor point of things, but we had that argument yesterday with Miguel Cabrera. Like the 10 years thing, he can mentor other guys. Like, we don't need multiple veterans. All right, Justin Verlander, as great as he is, Adam, I think sometimes it's better. I know it's more sentimental when people want him back, and we love 35, but at the end of the day, it's better just move on and keep Justin Verlander in a place in your heart. But understand that we're just in two different points of both of our careers, the Detroit Tigers and Justin Verlander. So just move on, man. You know, as much as I love Verlander, it's not the time.
I couldn't agree more. I don't think you make the move for Justin Verlander. A very this is like a life lesson. When you have something good and you walk away from it happy, you gave Justin Verlander a chance to go win a World Series. Granted, they cheated to do it, but hey, they won it. Who cares? He accomplished what he wanted to do. Al Avila did what he wanted to do, which is get nothing out of a trade, but that's a whole different discussion. Justin Verlander, no. Let's keep the very good memories, the amazing playoff record in Game 1s, especially against the A's. Let's keep all of those moments near and dear to your heart, because you don't want to bring in a very old Justin Verlander and he posts a 9.3 ERA come April of next year, and you're like, what the hell did we just get ourselves into? You don't want that. Always be very careful walking back and bringing back yourself into a old situation where you were happy. That was years ago. He's no longer the pitcher he was, unless he's juicing. If he's juicing, bring him here, but he's not. So I couldn't agree more with Jim Leyland. I mean, first of all, Jim Leyland, what a guy. What a guy. One of the great tragedies is that he wasn't able to win a World Series in Detroit. Having said that, Justin Verlander, no. I'm not interested. I don't want to hear it. Kennedy, I want to know your thoughts. Should the Detroit Tigers bring back Justin Verlander and his wife, Kate Upton?
Well, obviously, Kate Upton should 100% be in Detroit at all times. I adore her. But that being said, whoa, voice crack. I'm going through puberty over here. This is so hard because I like the people I grew up with. I like the guys that I was watching when I was smaller. But I think I'm going to echo what Tammy said in the chat. Let him retire, bring him back as a pitcher's coach. I think that would be a great way to get him back in the hometown and Kate back here. But no, I don't think we should. I don't think we need him on the team. Someone made a very good comment. He said, where would JV fit on this team? Next year's starters will be my Skubal, Manning, Boyd, and Wentz. When you think about it, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
No room.
No room.
I mean, again, like you go back, he just named off the prospects.
Right.
That could be starting next year. Again, this is like my Miguel Cabrera thing. I'm a mean guy for saying cut him the day he hits 3,000, but I'm sorry. I need Torkelson and Riley Green to get as many at-bats as possible. I just do. Sorry, Miggy. If you want to take a back seat, you can stay on the team. I got to pay you either way. But you're not getting 300, 400, 500 at-bats this year. I'm sorry, buddy. You're getting it next year because you're going to be chasing 3,000. But the year after that, I'm sorry, Miggy. I need you to be a mentor. I need you to sit your butt on the bench. I need you to be funny. Keep the guys focused, locked in, and help them get through their slumps, because I'm trying to build an AL Central contending team. And the only way I can do that is if my prospects come up and perform. So sorry, Miggy. After 3,000, we need to talk about your role here in Detroit. And the same for Justin Verlander. Not interested in bringing him back. Not interested in the kumbaya. Oh my God, Justin hugged me. Kate's on the big screen. Oh my goodness. Everything is normal again at Comerica Park. No. Just no. Same with Golden Tate. They have one of, if not the worst receiving core in the NFL. And they've yet to make a move at wide receiver. What does that tell you? What does that tell you? Do I have to keep telling you guys everything, or can't you just figure it out for yourselves?
No, that's your job. You have to tell us.
Golden Tate is not worth the signing. Why? Well, Amon-Ra St. Brown is kind of a similar player. You can't line up two guys in the slot like that and expect similar production and growth. Now, if you want to bring on Golden Tate and he just literally stands on the sidelines, not in a uniform, and he gets on as an assistant wide receiver coach, I'm open to that. Nowhere near on the field. If they wanted to address their wide receiving core, they would have drafted Terrence Marshall, they would have drafted an Elijah Moore, or they would have gone out in free agency, or they would have traded, well, let me backtrack. They would have franchise tagged Kenny Galladay and probably traded him for something, but they were just like, no. We're rebuilding. Jared, good luck. You have two running backs and an offensive line. Oh, and our tight end's going to get doubled, so good luck throwing to him. Stop.
Joey said, can the Tigers bring in Tebow?
Adam's gonna explode.
Wow. You
I wanna
know,
see
honestly, I'm not a guy that, you know, will threaten like physically. I'm not into like physical threats. I think they're, you know, beneath people. But if Al Avila signs Tim Tebow, that might be aggravated assault on my end downtown Detroit. If he brings Tim Tebow anywhere near the city, I will be down there with multiple bats. I'll be down there with a hammer, with a crowbar. I'm meeting Al Avila in an alley, and he's not gonna like it. You're not gonna like it.
And Detroit fans should know this already. Like, as much as we cherish these memories with these players, like whether it's Verlander, Golden Tate, you know, Tayshaun Prince when the Pistons brought him back when he was 35. Like, some things are just meant to be left in the past. Cherish those memories and just move forward, because you guys I got to understand where they're at as a franchise and where he's at as a player. It's the same thing with the Lions, where they're at as a franchise, where Golden Tate is at as a player. Just understand that, move on, and let them do them, and it'll work out.
Okay. Can we agree? Justin Verlander, if you want to bring him on, mentor. That's it.
Yeah.
Just taking
not
a
on
roster
the mound.
spot.
Not on the mound.
Not taking a roster spot.
I don't even mind the roster spot aspect, or you can bring him on as a coach.
Well, of course.
You know, it
but
depends
will
what
he
he's
do
open
that,
to.
though?
I don't know. I don't know if he wants to pitch another year. Like, what milestones is Justin Verlander chasing right now where he wants to be out on the mound? Pitching milestones are difficult. No one's a Nolan Ryan, Randy Johnson anymore. That doesn't exist anymore. So, JV's not chasing. He's already accomplished everything that he wanted to accomplish. Save the good memories. Bring him back as a pitching coach. It'll be an amazing, amazing deal. You bring him as a player, I'm not for it. And especially if you bring Tim Tebow. Al Avila, you bring Tim Tebow, there's going to be a lot of people and myself outside of Comerica Park with crowbars. So
I wouldn't be one of them.
You would.
Nope.
You would. You know what? I'll take... All right, since Dan Campbell's all about biting kneecaps, I'll take crowbars to kneecaps if Tim Tebow is signed, and I'll do it to both Tim Tebow and Al Avila. I'll put them both in the hospital so they can never walk again.
Oh.
Fair?
No.
No Tim Tebow.
You're like, I'm above violence. It's beneath me to get physical.
You have
and then
to
you
really...
say that.
Well, you have to push me to the edge, and signing Tim Tebow is pushing me to the edge. I've had enough of Al Avila's dumb decision-making.
Well,
I'm sorry. I'm not gonna praise you for having the #1 overall pick 4 times in the last 10 years. I don't know. Like, it's... You gotta suck to not draft the best player every year at #1 overall.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not gonna pat him on the back.
Well, speaking of draft picks, we got to talk about one of ours coming up next who found himself at the bottom of the list. But before that, Adam, can you tell us about our friends over at Levels?
Levels. They opened up last weekend. We were down there for their grand opening. It was a great event. Stick, Joey, myself, Terry Foster, Darren McCarty, Joik Bell, Neil Rule. Everybody was down there having a great time, supporting them. Guys, do us all a favor. Download their app today. Search Enjoy Levels, available on the App Store, both Android and iOS. Make sure when you stop by Levels, you mention Woodward Sports. Tell them we sent you. They might hook you up with some good promotions and some swag. We'll see you right after the break.
Hi, I'm David Hall from Hall Financial. And at Hall Financial, we treat our clients like family. And our #1 priority is giving each of our clients 5-star service. Our passion for 5-star service, combined with our expertise, allows us to find the best possible solution for refinancing your home loan. We take the time to focus on both the individual and the numbers. We're going to walk you through the process and close your loan in half the time of our competition. Go to davidhallmortgage.com today.
Welcome back, everybody. You are watching The Morning Wood on the Woodward Sports Network. All right, so the grades of the first-round picks from this year's NFL Draft are out, and our boy Penei Sewell and the Bengals' Jamar Chase have found themselves at the very bottom of the list. What is your initial reaction to that, Adam?
PFF came out with their grades. Jamar Chase, deservedly so, needed to be that low on the list. Penei Sewell as well. Multiple drops on Chase's end. And, you know, Sewell has been beaten multiple times. You can't hide around it. You just can't hide around it. So, what does that mean for both teams? I think there's one common factor that I'm looking at, and that's why I'm not going to overreact to either of these players playing poorly. Both sat out the last year of college football. Ja'Marr Chase and Penei Sewell did not play the year prior heading into the NFL draft. So they're like, they not only have the learning curve of the NFL, I don't even know if they're football ready. You just don't know. You know, training camp, catching balls is different than having a press corner on you, stopping you at the line of scrimmage, or a 270, 280-pound D lineman going full force into your chest. It's just, I think the lack of playing over the last year and a half has hurt their immediate impact. Does it hurt their future impact? No, I think both are going to work out. But it's a cause for concern. The number 5 and number 7 overall pick being rated as, or graded as, the lowest rookies in the preseason in the first round. That's, keep in mind, there are other offensive linemen, linebackers, safeties, corners that were taken in the first round and were rated or graded anywhere near how bad Ja'Marr Chase and Penei Sewell were. So, those are my thoughts.
I think the biggest point you made was the absence of both of their junior years, because they both sat out that COVID year, which is important because they're behind. Obviously, they missed all that. No matter if you're working out or not, Ja'Marr Chase can be in the gym working out. Doesn't matter. You need football experience, and playing that 1 year with Joe Burrow and other guys like stacked team on LSU. It's different. You're going to Cincinnati Bengals. You're the guy. You're playing back with Joe Burrow, but it's a quicker game. There's 6'4" defensive linemen trying to tear your head off. It's a different game completely. You got corners who are way faster than any of the corners you've versed in college, so it's an adjustment. And Penei Sewell's the same thing. I mean, he hasn't played his junior year, and more importantly with him, it's getting up to speed. You know what I mean? Like going against these big boys up front, and he's gotten beat a couple times, but I think overall, like Ja'Marr Chase has shown in 2 games, he's had 1 reception for 16 yards, I think, and the other one he had 3 targets, 3 drops. So he's played extremely poor. Penei Sewell gave up the sack to Gregory Rousseau, and he's gotten beaten in other positions, but he also has had highlights. He's had good moments, but again, he's an offensive tackle. He's playing every single drive or every single play. So at the end of the day, it is what it is. I'm not going to react too much to it. It's preseason. These guys are going to face these struggles early in the season. Now, come regular season, we might see changes. We might not. That's something you want to pay attention to. But right now, it's not worth an overreaction. It really isn't. Penei Sewell, I mean, that's why Dan's playing him this week. He needs more reps, and we acknowledge that. So it's going to take time. And
I'm glad you brought that up.
At the end of the day, they're still – I think Penei Sewell is one of the youngest players in the draft. So give him time.
20 years old.
Yes. It's incredibly young.
No, Penei Sewell's playing in the final preseason game for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
The coach is telling you this guy needs game reps. He didn't get 10, 11 games in his final year in college. Why? Because he sat out. Same for Ja'Marr Chase. Like, I'm not going to overreact to the grades, but what I think, again, is alarming and is something for future athletes to pause and consider is potentially sitting out the sophomore year and just working on your body and health. Like, that may not be a good thing. That just may not be a good thing. You need those game reps. I don't care what the difference is between college and professional. You need game reps. Penei needs them. Ja'Marr Chase needs them. How it's going to affect Jamar's draft stock in fantasy football is kind of like where my head's at. I'm so curious. Like, is he even going to be drafted? Ideally, like, he should be. But, for fantasy football people, you're like, Tyler Boyd was great last year without Joe Burrow. They bring back Burrow. Tyler Boyd should be good. Granted, Ja'Marr Chase is his boy, but if he's not open, not throwing the ball to Ja'Marr Chase, especially if he's going to drop the passes. So it'll be interesting. How do you think the Penei Sewell, getting the more reps he needs? How do you think Penei Sewell transitions year 1? Give me a year 1 projection for Penei Sewell at right tackle. Are we going to see improvement throughout the season? Are you looking for him to grow, like, physically? What's your expectation of Penei Sewell year 1?
It's about getting comfortable, number 1. I think what you said at the beginning, getting better throughout the season is what we'll see. Sewell's going to be – he'll be fine. He's too talented. He's got great footwork. You can see the talent when you watch him. It's just the little things he's got to fix. He will fix those. So, like I said, over the year, I'm seeing course of year 1, he'll improve. He could be as a right tackle. It's hard. He's switching positions, but he'll get the hang of it. He'll get comfortable with it. I could see him being, a pretty solid right or left tackle, depending on where he plays at the end of his year. I think year 2 and year 3, he'll just consistently improve from there. But, yeah, I think year 1 for him is just getting comfortable, getting your legs back under you, like I said, missing that big junior year. Just about getting, knowing how to play the position, mastering the playbook. And that's why I said, give it by week 17, he'll be good.
The thing with Penei Sewell and Jamar Chase that's different from, let's say, Micah Parsons, who sat out their junior year. Penei Sewell missed his sophomore year. He's a baby. So is Jamar Chase.
Yeah.
Jamar Chase came on, bursted onto the scene. National title. Boom. It's like, nah, I'm good. I proved my value. I had over 20 touchdowns in my first year. I'm good. Everybody knows who I am. Like, it's different. It's different. My expectation for Penei is very similar to yours. Dude's got to improve over the course of the season. And that's all you can expect out of a rookie. Is he going to be a top lineman year 1? I mean, best case scenario, sure. I mean, that'd be amazing. But no, realistically, he's going to have his struggles. People are going to panic midway into the year when the team's like 2-6. Oh, my God. We took an offensive lineman. What'd we do? The guy can't even guard any. Like, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Guy needs time.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody needs time to develop.
And people forget, like, Jamar Chase lined up with Justin Jefferson at LSU. Like, he's lining up with great guys around him. Now he's with the Cincinnati Bengals, man. Give these guys time. He's the only guy they got. And he definitely should have expected he's going to get doubled. Like, they're going to focus on Jamar Chase because other than that, they got no offensive line, and he's in a bad situation. Now, Sewell, on the other hand, I think he'll be fine. His position, it's more so just learning the technique, like the wide receiver position. I think Jamar, it's going to take a lot more for him to make that pop than Penei Sewell. It's just about figuring out the position and just being solid. I think he'll be fine. Both of them will be fine, to be honest.
Thank you, Jeff. You're doing awesome, both of you.
Why is your voice so soft?
Because I'm trying not to make the microphone pop.
Ah.
Because I think they say I pop my P's a lot. And it's annoying to listen to. So I'm trying to not do that today. But anyway, thank you so much for talking about these draft picks of ours and of the Bengals. But coming up next, we have to talk about the rookie QBs of the season and who you think should play come week 1. Stick around right here on the Woodward Sports Network.
Opa! Introducing Papa Romano's new Greek pizza, a tasty blend of bold Greek flavors and Mediterranean toppings, including feta cheese and Greek dressing. Get a large Greek pizza for a limited time for $16.99. Order now at paparomanos.com.
Welcome back, everybody. You're watching The Morning Wood on the Woodward Sports Network. We are so glad to have you here with us this morning. All right, so we've talked about these quarterbacks before, but we're going to do it again, and we're going to have the guys pick who they think they should start week 1. All right, so obviously this QB class was spectacular, the best we've seen in years. So given the situation, if you had to choose, which QB are you starting week 1, Adam?
Oh, wow. Okay. I'll start. So the options are Justin Fields, Trey Lance, and Mac Jones. Okay. Trevor Lawrence has already been named the starter, so there's nothing much there. Zach Wilson, the same. Not part of this argument. So this one was very difficult for me. I'll tell you who I wouldn't start week 1. Justin Fields. I am not sending the guy I traded up for. I'm not sending him out to be eaten alive and mauled by the best player in football, Aaron Donald. I am starting Andy Dalton the first 3 to 6 weeks. If we're 3-3, hell, I'm bringing in Justin Fields and we'll try to make a playoff run. But if we're 1-5, like, I don't know. I'm not. I know for sure who I'm not taking, and that's Justin Fields. Now, between Trey Lance and Mac Jones, you can make the argument week 1, you'd want to start Trey Lance. Why? Well, he's playing the Detroit Lions. Who wouldn't want to make their debut against the Detroit Lions?
He's not ready yet, though.
He's not ready. He's more raw, and that's why my answer will be Mac Jones. I think he can throw the ball better than Cam Newton. Cam Newton is a shell of himself ever since his MVP year in Carolina. Cam Newton's not the answer. I think of the three, if I was making the decision, I would move and start my season with Mac Jones. I could work around him. I'm deep at running back. I can run the ball. I like my rookie back. That's why I just traded Sony Michel. I got 2 tight ends, which means I got 2 blanket targets for my rookie quarterback. Mac Jones all day.
I got Justin Fields, and let me explain why.
Murderer.
Let me explain why.
You're a murderer.
I'm not saying he should start week 1, but I think he'll start
That's what
sooner.
the question is.
He'll start sooner than Mac Jones. I will say that. Right.
Hey, the question is, which one would you start week 1? You're going to send Justin Fields out to die. That's it.
Yes,
you're
because
responsible.
I'm the GM
You
of the
are
Bears.
such a responsible GM.
No, listen. This is because if I'm Matt Nagy and I'm on Ryan Pace, I'm on the hot seat. Bill Belichick ain't going nowhere. Those guys are fine. They have no pressure on them. Get Cam Newton in there. He has a good game 1. He's going to stay as a starter. He's not going to... Andy Dalton. If you're telling me Andy Dalton's going to come out there week 1 and light it up, you're wrong. I think Justin Fields...
He's not, and neither is Justin Fields against the Los Angeles Rams. They're going to get mauled, beaten down, and their hearts are going to get broken.
Week 2 or week 3. He's not going to... I think Andy Dalton will be out in the next 3 weeks.
That's fine, but week 1 of the 3, which one
Cam
would you
Newton's
start?
going to last at least a quarter of the season. He's not going to... I could see both of these guys have stretches of bad football. Like, you can't argue one or the other. But Cam Newton... I trust Cam Newton more than Andy Dalton, at least.
This is like buying a Lamborghini, all right? You took an advance out from work. You've been saving money. You trade up. You buy your Lamborghini. Justin Fields. You bought it. And for some reason, instead of waiting 3 weeks for it to ship from Michigan to California, no. You're going to drive it from Michigan to California. And you're going to deal with the potholes. And you're going to deal with the shitty roads. And you're going to deal with shitty drivers. That's what you're doing to Justin Fields. You're throwing him out to be murdered. What kind of GM are you? I'm putting out Mac Jones. I have probably one of the most talented offensive lines. I have the best offensive line so far this preseason. From what I've seen, the Patriots have had the best offensive line. I have 2 blanket tight ends that I can throw to, Jonnu Smith, Hunter Henry. I've got a run game I can rely on, and that fits so well into what Bill Belichick will be asking of his quarterback. It's not going to be Cam Newton. Cam Newton may be a goal line option, but week 1, I'm going with Mac Jones. I'm not putting out Justin Fields to die. Trey Lance, it's too early. I need Jimmy G to get me through 10 games, and I need to be 6-4, and I can make the move to just whatever, Jimmy. We're done. We're done. Trey, come in and try to take us somewhere special, because I don't think Jimmy G is going to take him anywhere near back to a Super Bowl appearance. But he needs to buy them time, and that's something very important for San Francisco.
Okay, but when you guys are thinking about this week 1, are you thinking about which team they're playing?
Yes. That's what Adam's thinking about.
Okay,
Yes.
because that's what I would be thinking, and that's why I would go with Trey Lance. What? I mean, hello,
you got to understand.
Look who they're playing.
Justin Fields and
It's
Mac
not
Jones
scary.
are the 2 guys that are ready to play right now. So, like, my argument with Justin Fields is, like, why... The Bears want to compete. Why are you stringing Andy Dalton along if he's a worse quarterback than Justin?
Because
We've seen it in the
you're
preseason.
protecting your quarterback. Okay, let me give you some backstory to answer your question. Matt Nagy, head coach of the Chicago Bears, correct?
Hot seat, yes.
Regardless. You know where Matt Nagy was when Patrick Mahomes was a rookie?
Yes, I understand.
He was in Kansas City. He watched them sit. The word throughout camp, from preseason
But he's a Trey Lance
to the end of the
comparison. Wasn't
postseason.
ready.
Wait for it.
Justin's ready.
Justin is not ready.
He is.
He's not ready to go out week 1 and get mauled.
I get that. If you're okay, Adam, if you're a GM, you're like, I don't want him to get hurt. I get it. He's ready.
No, it's
he's
not
ready.
about hurt.
He's
you don't
ready.
put him out against NFC Championship contenders week 1 when you know you're not a contending team. Put out Andy Dalton. Give Justin Fields time to understand and learn the playbook. The same way they did for Mahomes, and the same way Kyle Shanahan is praying Jimmy G just plays good football so he doesn't have to throw Trey Lance out there. Trey Lance's completion percentage is sub 60. It's like 56, 54%, something like that. He's not ready yet. And Kyle Shanahan's playbook, not easy to understand. Trey Lance needs time. Fields needs time. You know who doesn't need time? Mac Jones. Mac Jones can come in week 1 and do the similar job, if not better job, than Cam Newton.
And I think Justin Fields can come in week 1 do a better job than Andy Dalton. It's clear. It's clear.
No,
and if you
he
look
needs
at
time.
listen, Cam Newton, you're telling me that man's going to get shut out week 1, week 2 of the season. Like that, you have more faith in Andy Dalton holding up.
No,
than
it's not
Cam
about
Newton.
faith. I think Justin Fields should be the starting quarterback. I'm not going to send him out to die.
Okay, well then we're arguing.
I need to protect my quarterback.
We're arguing different things.
No,
then.
we're
Like,
not.
Because
It's all right. Here, I'm going to read this again. If given the situation, if you had to choose, which quarterback of the 3 would you start your week 1? Trey Lance against the Niners, Mac Jones against the Dolphins at home, or are you going to take? I believe the Bears are away to Los Angeles. That is how Justin Fields is going to make his debut. Did you see what the hell happened to him in the second preseason game? You see the hit he got? Imagine Aaron Donald delivering that hit.
It's going to happen.
Justin Fields would be 6 feet under. I'm trying to protect my company, my franchise. And I'm sending Andy Dalton out to die. I'll be very simple. I'll come out, if I'm the GM, I'll come out and say, listen, Andy Dalton, his sacrifice this year might get him a statue in Chicago if Justin Fields works out. If Andy Dalton goes out there and he performs subpar, I could care less. I'm protecting my quarterback. He needs to understand my system so that the moment I bring him in, he'll be a success, just like they did in Kansas City. Andy Reid could have pulled the plug so early on Alex Smith. They were a 10-6, 11-5 football team. They weren't going anywhere. And they needed that next level, that next step, which only Patrick Mahomes could provide. And he still held off, knowing that to the future benefit of this kid's career, I'm going to sit him the entire year. We'll play him the last 2 or 3 games just to get him some reps, late in the games. And that's it. Because I know year 2, this guy's going to explode. That's my mindset with Justin Fields. Mac Jones, I think he could play right away, given the situation. Trey Lance, he needs a year too. Justin Fields and Trey Lance each need a year to sit down, shut the hell up, and learn everything. That's simple.
Okay.
He got nothing for it. Because I'm just right.
All right.
I'm just right, Kennedy. I can't help it.
I guess. Why the 49ers
Matt
are
Nagy
playing the
can,
Lions?
okay, again, like these comments. Matt Nagy can allow Justin Fields to sit for the year. Yes, his job is on the line, but you know what bought him time? The GM and the head coach sat down and said, this is our guy. They went to the ownership. This is our guy. Here's what we're willing to do to trade up and get him. Watch. Justin Fields' first preseason game bought Matt Nagy the year. His preseason performance against Miami bought Matt Nagy another year. It's that simple. Now, do I think Dalton's going to play all 17 games? No. I think he probably starts the first 6 or 7. And it's just that bad. They're like 2-5, and they're like, all right, let's get Justin Fields some reps. I'm okay with that. But I'm not okay with him starting the first half of the year. I'm not. He needs to come in the second half of the year, get his reps, and get ready for next year. And then we can judge this entire move. Trey Lance, very similar. He can come on late in the year if they're just a bad team. But again, Jimmy G is 26-8 as a starter. That's a good win-loss record. If he can just play anything like himself prior, San Francisco will be a 9-10 win football team. And Trey Lance can chill the year, come onto the scene next year, and hopefully be a very good quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers. Mac Jones, on the other hand, doesn't need a year. He doesn't. Josh McDaniels will take care of him. He'll protect him. He'll put him in situations to win. That's what that coaching staff does. It's not an argument. Sorry, Kennedy.
Anything, Jeff?
No. There's no argument. I guess,
know.
like Adam said, there's no argument.
I know.
So just move on.
I know. It's really hard to sit up here every day and for me to do my job and just be right all the time. Like sometimes I just go home and I'm like, God, I was so right today. Like what am I going to do tomorrow? You got to be even more right.
It's just the specifics. Like obviously, I'm not going to sit here as a GM and say throw Fields to the Wolves with the Rams, but like that's the only part you got me on. Like, yeah, I don't want him to go against the Rams, but I still think Cam Newton will last longer than Andy Dalton. So that's my argument.
Look,
so,
Andy Dalton is what Jared Goff is, except the Lions don't have a backup solution.
Right.
The Lions will be drafting a quarterback in the next year or two. That's what Andy Dalton is for Justin Fields right now. They're sending Andy Dalton out there not to make himself good. No.
But
it's
his
nothing
time,
other
he
than to
said.
sit Justin Fields, give him time to understand the playbook, get familiar with the scheme, and ideally come out later in the year or next year. And he's a very good quarterback for the Chicago Bears. You got to protect your asset. Quarterback's your whole franchise. You throw him out there too early, he's done. He's done. The Bears traded up for Justin Fields. They're going to take every precaution possible. You know why? Because their job is on the line if Fields doesn't work out, not if they only win 6-7 games this year. That is not what it's going to dictate Matt Nagy's future in Chicago. What will dictate his future is Justin Fields, a good to very good quarterback. You'll only know that if you sit him, give him all the mental reps he needs, bring him on late in the year, and then you walk into next year like, oh my goodness, we have our guy, we have our Deshaun Watson, our Kyler, whatever you want to compare him to. You got to be very careful. You send him out week 1, Aaron Donald will eat him for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and it's going to be bad. Okay, let me just add one more thing. I'm so generous right now. Bet on the Chicago Bears and the Los Angeles Rams week 1. Bet the spread, take the Rams. Touchdown favorites, take the Rams. You want more advice? Take the over. If it's set anywhere under 48.5, take the over. If you're getting around 46, 45, take the over. Those are my 2 betting advices for you guys. Week 1, guarantee it. Bears are going to get mauled. Mauled! By the Rams. How'd that Khalil Mack trade go? For 1 year, it worked. Cool. He's just a waste of salary cap space. You really think they're going to send Justin Fields out with a team that's not ready to compete? If he played the whole season and he was just really good, they maybe win 8-9 games. Says more about the team than the quarterback. Sit him.
And that was our segment of Making Money with Adam. Thank you for your bets. I will be using them because you're usually right. I'm not going to say always right like you were, but usually when it comes to that stuff, you can trust Adam. So I will probably be placing those bets.
You should place the bet on the spread. Okay. That is one of my favorite points bet probably for week 1. Take the Rams to beat the Bears by more than a touchdown. Free money. You can come back to me September 13th and tell me, Adam, man, thank you, man. I put $20 on that shit. I won $26. Man, come on.
All right. Well, the NFL preseason power rankings have come out. The Lions are, by no surprise, at the bottom. Woohoo! We will get into that and more when we come back. This is Woodward Sports.
Morning, Art.
Good morning, D-Mac.
Welcome back, everyone. You are watching The Morning Wood on the Woodward Sports Network. We are so happy to have you here with us. All right, so the Lions are just getting annihilated in all of these preseason rankings. It sucks, but was it expected? Yes, of course. So they came out. We're at number 31 out of 32. Woohoo. So did this surprise you, Jeff, or do you think it's fair?
No, it didn't surprise me. I mean, we talk about it all the time. The talent on this football team isn't very good. We watched it in the first 2 preseason games, one to the Bills, one to the Steelers. More importantly, though, I want to mention a couple teams that I might not agree with where they're ranked. I saw the Bengals were 28th. Okay. But then again, what are you arguing? Because we're 31st. You're just arguing pointless stuff at that point. Cowboys at 12. Again, America's team makes that list strictly because of a couple Micah Parsons performances, but no, I'm not surprised. The Detroit Lions, bottom of the league. We talked about this multiple times on this show. The talent isn't there, and I think preseason only displays that. Yes, they're playing 2s and 3s, and our 1s aren't as talented. So you do the math, we're not going to be very good. So no, Adam, I'm not surprised, and I don't think you'll be either.
Well, I was surprised that Dallas was 12th.
Yeah,
again, this is like my biggest problem with America's team. America's team, their coach is the definition of America. Obese.
Oh my God. Here we go.
Congratulations. That's probably the only thing you can say is American about the Dallas Cowboys is their head coach. Kennedy's laughing. It's the truth. It's the truth.
So mean. That's why I'm laughing, because you're horrible.
I'm not horrible. I just tell the truth. Dallas being 12th when they didn't even win their division last year, in a division that was awful.
Yeah.
They didn't win.
Washington snuck in.
Oh, Dak Prescott's back, Adam. What are you talking about? He's coming off a horrible leg injury. Like, you guys, again, You're overrating the Dallas Cowboys. Their defense, year after year after year. You walk in, they got better. They got better. Watch out, Adam. I'm telling you, Dak Prescott's going to lead the offense. They're going to score so many points. Well, they give up just as many as they score, and that's why they're usually a below average to average football team. That's why they're usually 8-8, 9-7, 7-9 every single year, because they're just not good enough. They went 13-3 Dak's rookie year. Best offensive line, best run game. Great. Congratulations. What are we, 5 years removed? Give me a break. They're not America's team. Since the year... What? No, in the last 25 years, the Dallas Cowboys have been to as many Super Bowls as the Detroit Lions. The Dallas Cowboys have been to as many NFC championships as the Detroit Lions. Guys, America's team, 12th? This is like what makes me lose respect for half of these people that come out with rankings. How do you put a team that didn't make the playoffs last year, did not get significantly better over the offseason, drafted a linebacker, what, 10th or 9th? That's their jump into the top 12? 14 teams make the playoffs. You're telling me that they're one of the top 14, basically. They're a playoff team. Are they a division winner? Are they not? I don't know. Who knows? I know the Giants are a better football team. I know the Giants have a better defense. Yeah, they got Dak in that offense. But you know what? Let's see how the offense holds up. You go throw the ball 40 times downfield. Tell me how you're going to do throughout the season. It's not winning football. They have a bum as a head coach. And again, the only resemblance of America's team that the Dallas Cowboys have is Mike McCarthy and how obese he is. Jeff?
I don't understand the 12th Cowboy rankings. I mean, like I said earlier, the Bengals, they won a preseason game. They're 1-1. We're 0-2. So I will give them the 28th to our 31st. But at the end of the day, what are you arguing? I mean, we haven't had a win yet. So it's as easy as that, and it's just facing reality at this point. Yes, you don't need all the talent in the world to win preseason games. I mean, the Bengals beat Kyle Trask in the Buccaneers. So it's just about where we look now as a team, and come this Friday or this weekend when we play, maybe that changes. Maybe it doesn't. I mean, it's not going to surprise me regardless, and it is what it is.
Well, regarding the Lions being 31st, I agree with it. Like, what are we arguing? They should be 28th, Adam.
Yeah,
they should be 28th. Oh. So whether they're 28th or 31st, I want you to somehow still convince me how they're going to win 10 football games.
You can't.
They're not. Accept it. Come on the Adam limo. You know, whatever Art's limo is. Come on to the Adam limo. Enjoy the next year. Watch your young talent develop. Watch Dan Campbell. See how his coaching staff makes decisions in game. See his in-game management. Look for the little things. And when you finish 3-14, 4-13, 5-12, whatever it may be, I won't kill you for it. Just come on, because I promise you, they're going to take a quarterback. Jared Goff will be gone by 2023. You'll free up $30 million. And you just may have a chance to do something very similar to what the Seattle Seahawks did with Russell Wilson.
Okay.
You build a nice piece together. You have a rookie contract. You could be NFC North contenders come the end of the final year of Jared Goff, going into that third year. Year 3 is when the Detroit Lions, potentially, given the direction they're going in, could be contenders in the NFC North. Come on the train now before it's too late, because I'm telling you, you guys want to sit up here for 17 weeks this season and watch me talk along with Jeff and Kennedy about the Detroit Lions, you're not going to like it, especially what comes out of my mouth. So if you want to sit up here with the expectation, a rookie head coach, a bridge quarterback that a team was willing to give up 2 first-round picks just to get rid of, downgraded that wide receiver, secondary still question mark, no linebackers, Jelani Tavai, I don't know why he hasn't been cut yet. That's your team. That's your 10-7 team. That's the crackhead or crackman, whatever you call him. That's your guy. That's your guy. I get being a fan. There's a difference between being a fan and also taking a step back and saying, hey, I got this. I get where we're going. I can see that.
Being realistic.
Let me not put 10-win expectations, because I'm going to hate Dan Campbell come November. It's that simple.
If the Lions win 10 games, can we paint your Jeep and install a horn that roars when you beep it. If they win 10 games, can we make your Jeep look like Crackman's truck? Adam.
I'm sorry, I barely heard what you said.
If the Lions win 10 games,
yes,
can we repaint your car to look like Crackman's and install a horn that roars when you beep it?
I'll let you guys do anything. They're just not gonna do it though.
No, I want a tattoo.
That's what kills me. I'll do whatever you want.
I want his car to
whatever
roar
you
when
guys
he beeps
want,
at someone.
but it's just not gonna happen. You guys can get excited. Oh my
Okay,
god,
well,
we're gonna get a Crackman.
I'm not saying we're gonna win.
do the shake.
I'm not saying we're gonna do win 10 games. We're on the same page with that. But I would love if they got into the playoffs. You just get a damn tattoo.
Why?
It would just
Why?
make
You
me
want
so
Jared
happy.
Goff for the next 10 years?
Well, I don't know about that, but
then
Better
no,
than
lose 14 games.
I need to see him on the football field first. We haven't seen him.
You've seen him.
He's
been shit the last 3.
Yes. Okay.
He's gotten worse every single year over the last 3 years in an offense that has been ranked in the top 10 in rushing 3 of the 4 years. Robert Woods, Cooper Kupp, they've had tight ends, they've had Todd Gurley, they've had a run game. Cam Akers last year. Malcolm Brown, Darrell Henderson, offensive line, top 5 defense. Give me a break.
Don't you start pulling that bridge QB stuff at me.
He's a bridge quarterback. He's a bridge quarterback. You know, if the sooner Detroit Lions fans accept Teddy Bridgewater as a bridge quarterback, the sooner you'll find peace and happiness. When you accept he's a bridge quarterback, my goodness, the outlook, the change you'll have on your life. If you just understand he's a bridge quarterback, and the reason that the guy you think is going to win 3 Super Bowls in the next 8 years is ranked 31st in the NFL right now.
Yeah, because
I may not agree with some of the rankings, but they sure as hell got the Lions one right.
Because they don't know what's happening. We're going to wow you, Adam. Wow you.
Fishy.
Wow you. You're going to sit there in February ready to eat some wings and chips and salsa. Oh my god, Lions are in the Super Bowl.
If the Detroit Lions go 10-7,
There it
I will
is.
purposely become obese. Is that fair?
You're going to have to stop eating that granola.
Yeah.
But people want to know. The people need to know. On the Adam, I don't know, loser limo, whatever you're calling it, are fat people allowed?
On the limo?
Yes.
It's going to be all fat
That's
people.
half the chat is
All
like,
right.
will I be allowed on the limo?
Let me clarify.
McCarthy's gonna
Let me
be there.
clarify my fat shaming. I've only fat shamed Mike McCarthy, so let's not be dramatic.
No,
Andy
and
Reid.
Tavai.
Tavai deserves to be fat shamed. What are we doing? And Matt Patricia. You guys agree with me. Don't sit
agree
there
about
trying to be
Patricia.
politically correct and oh my god, Adam, what are you saying? You agree with everything I say. Give me that crap. There are obese, fat, Chinese, Japanese, black, white, I don't care. Everyone's allowed in the Adam limo for the Lions to lose a lot of games this year.
All right.
Except Mike
Everyone's
McCarthy,
allowed.
Matt Patricia, and Jelani Tavai. I don't want them anywhere near the limo.
Oh.
Okay.
Charlie Weiss, he can come too. He's pretty cool.
All right. Well, there
But
you
we'll
have
need
it.
more than a limo. It'll probably have to be like a party bus or something.
It's gonna be a big party bus.
Oh, all right.
If everybody just hops on board with what I'm saying, I promise you this will be the happiest year you'll ever have watching the Detroit Lions because they won't be winning. You'll be understanding what's going on. Everything will be smooth. And you're not going to have this expectation of Jared Goff to throw 4,000 yards, 30 touchdowns, and less than 10 interceptions because he's going to be a 2-time MVP, a 3-time Super Bowl champion in the next 8 years. You just watch, Adam. You watch. You guys, really just don't help yourselves.
All right. Well, we've already
You do
got...
this to yourselves. You guys ask for this.
Yeah, we do. It's okay.
You and Crackman.
All right, well, we've already talked about our rookie QBs, but coming up, we're going to tell you about our top 5 PPR QBs. Stick around for that. This is Woodward Sports.
Hi, I'm David Hall from Hall Financial. With historically low interest rates and 5-star service, you could pay your mortgage off faster without increasing your monthly payment. Get started now at 248-308-5000 or chat with us online. Call hallfirst.com.
Welcome back, everybody. Adam and Jeff are ready to help you out for your fantasy season, so let's get right into that. All right. Maybe you've already done yours. Honestly, I've already done one draft, but I've got another one coming up with Woodward Sports People, and maybe some of you. If you tune into The Bottom Line, maybe you'll find out about that. But boys, who are your top 5 PPR QBs for this upcoming season? Jeff, my friend, let's start with you.
I'll just run through them. I got at number 5, we'll start. You know what? Don't be surprised, because this is hard. I want to sneak this guy in there. Give me Justin Herbert at 5. All right.
Okay. Don't run through the list, though. I want to go back and forth.
Okay, I'll add number 5. And this was hard. There's a couple guys you can add in there. You get the Russell Wilsons of the world, whoever you may be. I believe in Justin Herbert because he had a great year last year. And I understand the sophomore slump, and I understand all that, but I think he's going to get better. I really believe that. The guy can make plays on his feet if needed. You saw the toughness of him last year, and he's got a cannon of an arm. So why not? That's my 5th, and then the other 4 get more interesting.
All right. Well, we're gonna agree. I had Justin Herbert at 5.
Oh my goodness!
Austin Eckler hopefully if he has a full year.
Yeah.
Herbert's going to be very valuable. Even if he doesn't, he proved it last year, he'll be very valuable. As long as Keenan Allen and Eckler stay on the field, Justin Herbert's going to have a good year.
Yeah.
Yeah, they lost Hunter Henry, but he's going to have a good year. They know what they're doing down in Los Angeles. I like the Brandon Staley hire. I think they're going to significantly improve. And honestly, you've seen flashes so far in the preseason just of their defense, what it was capable of, that they didn't do last year under Anthony Lynn. So I'm excited. I think Justin Herbert, lock him in top 5 PPR quarterback. Yes.
Yep. And then, so I'll go down. You want to do your 4?
Yeah, I can do my 4. My 4 is, this is hard because this was my 4, 5, and 6 could have been put anywhere. And I really wanted to put Dak Prescott in the top 5, but I just put him at 6. I left him out.
That was me
because
too.
I don't know how many games he's going to play. He's going to put up numbers, especially with that defense down in Dallas. So it was very difficult for me to leave Dak out of the top 5, but my number 4 is Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray, number 4. I think he's poised to have a very good year. DeAndre Hopkins, again, they brought in A.J. Green. I think year 3 now with Cliff Kingsbury, they're gonna have to explode. Again, we're projecting who will be the top. I think Kyler Murray's gonna have a year.
This is where I struggled as well because I have Lamar Jackson just at 4 because I have Kyler Murray in a different spot. But I think Lamar Jackson, obviously, we know what he can do, and we know what he can do on his feet along with his arm. But I just think what separates Kyler Murray is he has a better arm than Lamar Jackson. And also, I think don't underestimate Kyler Murray's ability to run the football. So I got Lamar Jackson at 4. He'll have a good year this year. They added more wide receivers to that core. Rashad Bateman, they got other guys in there that are going to compete. But at the end of the day, I think the seasons he had, year 1, year 2, I don't think are going to be repeated. And I think, he's going to have a good year, but I got 3 other guys I think that will be better than him. So that's my 4.
Oof. All right, you put me in a really challenging situation. First of all, Lamar Jackson, year 2 MVP, 36 touchdowns. We all know.
Yeah.
Last year only 26. Took a dive. He's my number 3. He's my number 3.
Okay.
Lamar Jackson. Now with J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards in the backfield, they have another year under their belt. They're more experienced. The offensive line has gotten better. The wide receiving core has gotten better. The defense will be what the defense has always been. Lamar Jackson, I think, is a top 5 PPR quarterback strictly on the matter that he can run. He can run. Can't convince me he gets under 6 or 7 touchdowns this year just running the football. And I think, again, you look at a quarterback, what you want to see out of your quarterback. I want to see him progress year to year. His completion percentage over the last 2 years, he went from 66 his MVP year to 64 last year. It's not a bad thing. That's a good percentage. People, and I'm one of them, like to knock Lamar Jackson for his inability to really throw the football. I am starting to feel he's just different. Although I'm not sure different wins Super Bowls. But again, this is fantasy football. I'm taking Lamar Jackson, number 3, and I'm assuming this is where you have Kyler Murray.
Yes, I have Kyler Murray, and I strictly believe that last year he had 26 and 12 is for his second year as a sophomore. I think going into this season, another year with DeAndre Hopkins, A.J. Green, They got Rodney Hudson, and they got more guys in the offensive line. They're trying to protect him. I think he'll have a great year this year. I expect over 30 touchdowns from the guy. And again, don't sleep on his ability to run the football, because last year he can do it. And I know he's not doing it at the rate of Lamar Jackson, but in the red zone, he is dangerous. So I got Kyler Murray just based off my confidence, and he'll get better as a player. Obviously, Lamar, you can argue all day he's a better player. People call him a running back, but he can throw the football.
Back-to-back 1,000-yard years. He had 1,200 his MVP year, 1,000 last year, 7-7 on the touchdown category. So he's kind of a running back.
Yeah, he is.
He's kind of a running back. Sorry if that offends anybody at home. He's a running back who can throw the football kind of good. He's not a prototypical quarterback. He's different. And different may not win Super Bowls, but he is a problem. He is a problem. When he's that fast at the quarterback position, stack the box all you want. He's still going to make people miss. Yeah. Again, Lamar Jackson for me, my 3. I know you have Kyler Murray. Again, I think Kyler Murray is going to have a big year. Mm-hmm. He's poised to have a big year. But before we get to 2-1, if there was a guy who didn't make your top 5 that you would put in, who would it be?
It'd be Dak. Dak Prescott or Russell Wilson. This is where I struggle. I would go Dak Prescott because his ability to put up yards. I mean, you saw his statistics last year. I think he led the league in passing yards 3-4 weeks after he was injured still. So his ability to do that, and I don't think he'll be making a lot of plays on his feet, considering he's coming off that ankle injury. He might be a little worried, but whatever. He'll be making plays. I think he'll put up numbers, and as long as he stays healthy. He's got the shoulder injury, but I got faith as a fantasy quarterback. And then Russell, you can argue either one. Those are the two I'm kind of going back and forth about.
I was debating between Dak Prescott, but then I really sat back and I said, okay, wait. This is fantasy football. I'm not relying on Tom Brady this late. He's going for championships. Aaron Rodgers, he just had an MVP year. I'm not taking him. Dak coming off a leg injury. All right, well, that's like 3 players already, so I'm already at 8. Who's my 9, 10, and 11 that I could probably sneak in there? You have your Staffords, your Matt Ryans. Mm-hmm. I think Matt Ryan is a low-key option, viable later on in the draft. In your fantasy draft, I think that wouldn't be a bad call. But I'm going to say Ryan Tannehill.
Wow.
Ryan Tannehill, given Julio Jones, A.J. Brown, and Derrick Henry, is going to be a problem, fantasy-wise. You get him in the red zone. Teams are preparing for Derrick Henry to run in. He can bootleg out, and he's done it multiple times last year.
With his feet or with
he
his
can
arm.
score with his feet or his arm. I'm telling you, don't be surprised. Again, you win your leagues when you draft a quarterback either really high that no one expected to go off, like a Mahomes, Lamar the last few years, or you win by finding him in the 4th, 5th, 6th round that nobody has expectations of, and you take him.
Right.
That's how you win your leagues. But yeah, for me, it was Ryan Tannehill. I like Tannehill at like 7 or 6, and I wouldn't have had a problem putting him in my 5. But my number 2, I think we're going to agree. I hope we're going to agree. It's got to be Josh Allen.
Yep.
Josh Allen, 8 touchdowns the last 2 seasons. He can score with his feet. Mm-hmm. He has Stephon Diggs. They've addressed the O-line a little bit. They've addressed the defensive line, which means they're just going to be a better overall team. I think the Bills, coming off I think they were 13-3 last year. I think they're probably 12-5, 13-4 this year. They're not going anywhere. Josh Allen isn't going anywhere. I think he's a viable top 2 PPR quarterback. I'm assuming you agree, Jeff.
Yes, I do agree. Considering you could just look at the year he had last year, obviously you had him in the MVP race, but this year, there's no reason why he shouldn't be 2. Obviously, 1, we know who that is, but in terms of overall production with his feet, with his arm, it's Josh Allen. You know what I mean? Like 37 touchdowns, 10 interceptions last year. I think he can get close to that again this year. Stephon Diggs is going to have a monster year, like you said, addressing the offensive line. Hopefully, they can get this run game on track with the guys they got, Zach Moss, but. Yes, I got Josh Allen at that 2 spot, and I have confidence. Like you said, this year, 11-6. I doubt they're going to go that low, but 12-5, 13-4, whatever the case may be, they're going to be a good team, the Bills. So, yes, I think we can mutually agree. Hopefully, other people agree. I thought for a second you were going to pull your best players in the NFL argument and pull him Patrick at 2. And try to do him.
Again, it's not about who the best player is. Your best viable fantasy option. And I'll be honest. I could make an argument that maybe heading into this year, maybe Mahomes takes a step back and Edwards-Helaire really takes more of a role in the offense, and that kind of limits. Again, we're talking about production. We're not talking about who's a better player. We're talking about who's giving me the fantasy points I need to win. And, you know, Mahomes got to be consensus one. He's got to, but I think I could make a good, if I wanted to, I could make a strong case that a Josh Allen, potentially a Kyler, or even a Dak, that whole company, you could make the argument just on fantasy purposes. Even Matt Ryan and Ryan Tannehill. Matt Ryan's playing on a bad football team. They upgraded. They have Kyle Pitts. Calvin Ridley's going to be the one.
They got no run
They're
game.
going to throw the hell out of the football. Enjoy it. Great fantasy option. Ryan Tannehill, same thing. He goes the moment they play action, we're gonna find out how real the Titans are gonna be this year, because you got AJ Brown and you got Julio Jones on your ends. Good luck stopping that. Again, my fantasy quarterback. This dude's gonna go off. Now, do I want either of those wide receivers? I probably want AJ Brown over Julio. I'll take AJ Brown. I think he's gonna have a breakout year, but. Yeah, regarding top 5 quarterbacks, those are my 5. If you were to give a sleeper out of the rookie class, who would it be? And this is going to be for people in their leagues, Jeff, where, you know, they need a backup, but they need a hot backup late into the year because their quarterback may have a bye or he gets hurt late in the year. Or, you know, there's just this one rookie that come playoff time, you want him playing over a Matt Ryan, a Tannehill, whatever it may be. And we're talking playoff time come fantasy football. Jeff, of the rookies.
Of the rookie QBs.
Yes.
Obviously,
Given, again, situation, you know, again, fantasy, not who wins. We don't care about this.
Because we
fantasy football, who's delivering me the points I need?
If I had to say, just based off ability, because we going back when they're going to start, you don't want Justin Fields starting week 1. He's going to get torn up. I think overall, Jeez, I mean, I don't know. Trevor Lawrence, I guess he's going to start the whole season. He's on a bad football team. You can go Zach Wilson. They're going to, but I don't know. It's tough because I want Justin Fields, his ability to run the ball. He's so incredibly smart. I don't think he's going to turn the ball over very much, and he could put the ball anywhere. He can make plays on his feet. He's a great fantasy point option. Trey Lance isn't going to play. Mac Jones is a statue in the pocket. So he might put up great numbers, but there's not weapons in New England for like that. You know what I mean? To really make that argument. So it's tough. You could go really Zach Wilson, Lawrence, or if you want to take the gamble on Fields, you might see him midway through the season.
So your guy, head and shoulder, who is it?
Just give me Trevor Lawrence.
Really?
If I'm picking a guy, I'm picking someone who's playing. I'm not gonna like Justin Fields. You don't know if he'll play.
Okay, so I'll agree with you on that. Of the rookies, obviously Zach Wilson and Trevor right now are the A1 starters.
Yes,
it's not changing.
They're playing.
So you know you can have them in a backup role.
Yes.
And come late in the year when it's not, I don't want to say not as meaningful, but you know the teams aren't really, you know, in a position we expect the Jaguars or the Jets to be competing for the playoffs. So they're going to be probably throwing the ball a lot. Having said that, and they won't be good teams, so they'll be behind. They'll have to throw. But if there's one guy to look out for, is a guy who might take over the job come week 10, week 9, week 10. And you're heading right into playoff time. You're trying to clinch your spot. Trey Lance in a Kyle Shanahan system could be a huge problem. And I would consider Trey Lance over the 2 starters late into the year if I needed one, given he's playing and they've benched Jimmy G. I think of the 5, Trey Lance can do it with his feet. He's willing to do it with his feet. Can do it with his arm. He's already shown in the preseason. That run system, count me in for fantasy. But again, Kyle Shanahan, though, does have a history outside of Matt Ryan, or at least under Jimmy G, of not producing fantasy numbers at the quarterback position. So maybe take it with a grain of salt. Kennedy, if I were to ask you which quarterback you would go for, who would it be?
Rookies?
Yes.
100% I'd take Trevor Lawrence.
So
as well.
because the hair.
No, I like that he's got Marvin Jones there with him.
He's got better weapons
Is
than
it
Zach
because
Wilson.
he doesn't look like Mike McCarthy?
No.
Does that help at all?
No, but there is a question I do want you to address in the chat, Adam. Or not a question, a statement. By Bob's Big Boy.
Yes.
Goff is better than Dak. He stays healthy and puts up better numbers. Facts are facts. What are your thoughts on that?
Wow.
He said facts are facts,
He
Adam.
said facts are facts.
Okay, wait. So backtrack. Last year, Dak gets hurt. Early on in the year, he was putting up ridiculous numbers.
Ridiculous numbers.
But let's just look at the 2 quarterbacks. They're very similar in what they've accomplished, which essentially would be Jared Goff's been to a Super Bowl. Dak's been, I believe, to 1 NFC Championship game.
Yep.
No, I don't think so.
Close to it.
The
They
divisional
lost.
round they
Yeah.
lost again. Yeah. So, okay, who made the comment? So I can address him?
Bob's big boy.
Okay, Bob's big boy. If injuries aside, all right, I'm going to ask you a question. Injuries aside, you knew nothing of these two quarterbacks outside of their production. Forget injuries, forget Super Bowl accomplishments, playoff, whatever it may be. Which quarterback are you going forward with? That's my question to him. Because if he really thinks Goff is head and shoulders better than Dak, oof. And again,
true.
this isn't like, I don't think he's too far off. I think you could have made that argument 2 years ago. You can't make that argument right now. Dak's a better quarterback than Jared Goff. Go tell me when Dallas trades 2 first-round picks to get rid of get rid of their quarterback. Then we can talk. Jared Goff is not that much better of a quarterback. Is he in that mid-tier where he's like somewhere between like 12 and 16? Sure, that's Jared Goff. That's a serviceable quarterback. That's a good quarterback. Dak's got top 10 ability. We've only seen it 1 year out of Jared Goff where he had top 10 ability. They went to the Super Bowl. He put up 3 points. Dak, yes, he hasn't been available. Missed all of last year. Well, not all of last year, but majority of it. Missed, 12, 13 games.
But the year prior, he had 30 and 11 interceptions. He had a great year. 30 touchdowns.
Man, big boy. Has he answered yet?
Let me see.
He did say best availability.
Best availability. Or best ability is availability.
Which he has a point
Well,
there.
yeah, but
Does
look
have
at
a
Andy
point.
Dalton. He's been available, and I'll put my head through a horse's butt before I started Andy Dalton at quarterback. Like, they're bridge quarterbacks. Dak has a future. Jared Goff is fighting for his future. That's why I can't agree with that. No, I think Dak's a better quarterback. He's more dynamic. He's more mobile. He's more dynamic downfield. He can throw the ball better than Jared Goff. Jared Goff has struggled the last 3 seasons. He is a turnover machine. And, again, I question the mental side. Dak, I don't question mentally. Jared Goff, dude, you've gotten worse over the last 3 seasons. You were just traded away. You're in a new situation. It ain't going to be pretty here in Detroit. You don't have weapons to deal with. No.
All right,
Give me
well,
Dak. Give me Dak.
Before Adam puts his head through a horse's butt, we better get out of here. But up next, we have Fish's facts. And also, we get to hear from Jeff about our friends at Coast.
Yes, before Fish goes and tells us his awesome facts, so I got to tell you about Coast, because since 1919, Coast has pursued one mission: to make the working professional's job safer and life easier. Today, Coast lights are a favorite amongst tradesmen and women, outdoor enthusiasts, first responders, and more. Visit coastportland.com and use code WSN20 for 20% off your purchase. They stand by their products and back them up with a lifetime warranty. Buying for your whole crew? Sign up with our Coast crew to take advantage of special discounts, early access to new products, and more. Again, that 20% off code is WSN20. Use it.
Would you like to win a custom-built chopper while helping our veterans at the same time?
Then watch as we turn this bike into a one-of-a-kind classic chopper.
Watch the Call Sam Chopper Shop on our social media channels and get your raffle ticket today at callsam.com/chopper shop.
Opa! Introducing Papa Romano's new Greek pizza, a tasty blend of bold Greek flavors and Mediterranean toppings, including feta cheese and Greek dressing. Get a large Greek pizza for a limited time for $16.99. Order now at paparomanos.com.
Is it time?
Yeah, it is.
Fish! That one time.
Go Fish.
Fish facts.
It's Fish!
All right, today is Thursday. Hope you guys are having a good day as long as the audience. We have a video as always, or today it's a picture of. Have you guys ever sent your favorite athlete or announcer or favorite celebrity a letter?
I've sent like DMs. I've tried to do stuff. Like, yes, I've tried to reach out.
Okay, well, this person is old-fashioned and sent a letter to Adam Schefter and Field Yates.
Oh, no.
And it reads, "Hello, gentlemen. I have been a fan of both of your work on various shows on the ESPN platform. You both do great work, and I appreciate it. Now, for the informational purpose, I am a retired radio TV announcer, a commercial voice, and a voiceover artist. So I know how to pronounce the words. The problem is, you don't. You regularly and routinely F up the name of the Miami quarterback. His name is Tua Tagovailoa. Yet you two assholes regularly and continuously mispronounce it when you say Tua Tagovailoa. There is no tango in his name, And tell that asshole Greeny as well. He's not worth a letter. Continued success.
I love this, Fish. Wait, so
Good job, Fish.
this man got that heated. I mean, I understand because, you know, it irritates some people. Like, he's like, hey, you're pronouncing his name wrong. He reached out. It's like, quit doing that. And this is, he actually put like the dictionary pronunciation, the little like hyphen, like he was trying to help them out.
He was trying to. A lot of people loved the ending. Continued success.
So he's like, stop doing it and stop pissing us off. But you know what? Continued success. At least he closed it off with a nice message. You know what
He
I mean?
did. And he put his signature on the bottom. I can't read signature, so you got to fill me in on his signature. Speaking of signatures, we go to the facts where I can tell you Adham Beydoun was watching this game yesterday.
That's why he stayed up so late.
Why am I being attacked by Fish every day now? Is this Fish's facts or Fish's attack on Adam?
It could be
All
both.
I did was
It could
call
be
Mike
both.
McCarthy fat. I'm sorry, Fish.
It could be both.
What do you want from me?
Well, but you enjoyed the game. It was a good game of 16 innings. Dodgers
Fish, I don't watch
Padres.
baseball at 3 in the morning.
He was watching it, Fish.
Why would you not watch baseball? You love baseball, don't you? Dodgers Padres game. First game in MLB history to have 2 multi-home runs in the 15th inning or later. They ended up playing 16 innings. And you don't get that anymore because they have the runner on second at the start of the 10th. So normally the games end in 10 or 11, which I don't like that rule, but...
So they got hot late. They got hot later in the game.
Yes.
Started hitting bombs when it didn't matter.
Well, the pitching was also good because remember you got that runner on second at the start of the 10th.
Yeah.
So...
That's good. Hey, if you love baseball, it's great. You know, if you're watching it, you're watching it. Like Adam, I bet he was up till 3, 4 watching it. That's why
And
he
it was
looks
a good
tired.
game. He should be.
Me? I'm not tired. I'm fine.
Speaking of someone
Lions fans.
from that game, Fernando Tatis Jr. now has 35 home runs in 96 games this season. That's the fewest games played to 35 home runs in a season by a player younger than 22 years of age.
That is wild.
Yeah, it is wild. I would have loved to see him in the Derby, man. If he was healthy, like that would have been a show. Got to see him. I mean, if he's hitting those many bombs.
I don't like the home run derby.
What
Fish,
the
you like the home run derby?
You don't?
Well, I don't watch it very much, but when I do, I love it.
What's the reasoning for not
I sometimes
liking it?
forget it's on. I love watching it when I watch it, but I don't watch it very often.
You know, if Tatis was available the entire year, he would be on pace to have 59 home runs.
It's crazy.
Unreal.
Well, Ohtani is 40. So
Unreal.
There you go. Hey, the Orioles, they did it good yesterday, finally. They snapped their 19-game losing streak with a 10-6 win over the Angels. It's the longest losing streak in MLB history to end with the team scoring 10-plus runs.
All right, that's a relief. You know, lose 19 straight and get 10 homers. I mean, that's what you want. 10 scores.
Yeah, and the Orioles they haven't been doing good for years. Talk about a bad franchise, Adam. The Orioles are a bad franchise. Don't talk about the Lions. Talk about the Baltimore Orioles.
Yeah, we got to start talking about the Baltimore
Fish,
Orioles
if
more.
there was a possibility that the Lions could lose 19 straight, believe me, they would find a way.
Well,
Fish, he said he'd be delighted if they went 0-17.
He did.
He would be delighted.
I would.
It'd be interesting, he said. It'd be better than the
I think
Lions
it's a
winning
great,
the Super Bowl.
I think year one, it's a great storyline.
It's not. It's not a great storyline.
I think it is.
For who? For you.
I am a supporter of stories, and you know this would be really a pulverizing story here in the city
I
of
know.
Detroit.
Electrifying.
The first team to go 0-16 and 0-17, and they did it on the inaugural 17-game schedule. I think it's impressive.
Speaking of great
you guys
stories,
you guys think I'm joking? I'm not.
He's completely serious.
That would be one of, if not the biggest headline of the entire NFL season.
It'd be a headline. It wouldn't be a good one.
Well, not a good one for the Lions, but it'd be a damn good one for everyone else.
Speaking
Move
of
on, Fitz.
great storylines, we have birthdays today. By the way, today is the 26th of August. Jamal Lewis, it is his birthday today, 1979. David Price,
David Price.
baseball pitcher, 1985. And then you guys might love some of these players, James Harden and Stan Van Gundy.
Geez, Stan Van Gundy, man. What a...
Well, it's his birthday?
Yes.
I
want you to mention
Stan,
the obese comment.
I wish you nothing but the worst in life. Outside of health and, everything else that, really matters.
Are you going to call him fat as
I
well?
wish you nothing but the worst. I hope you enjoy your life, have, all that good stuff. Hope family, everyone's good, health, all that stuff. I despise... You want to talk about an obese... what do you call them?
Waiting for that.
From the Chocolate Factory, Oompa Loompa?
Charlie.
God.
Stan Van Gundy is an obese Oompa Loompa. who did nothing but set the Pistons back 10 years.
Okay, hold on.
And now Troy Weaver's got to come in and clean up his mess.
Let me say...
Because he thought building a team with Blake Griffin, Reggie Jackson, and Andre Drummond getting swept in the first round was... It's progress.
All right, I'm Adam's lawyer. I'm going to speak on his behalf.
I don't need anybody to speak on my behalf. I know exactly what I'm saying.
I think Stan Van Gundy, he's a great man.
He's a great man.
In broadcasting.
He's a great individual. I'm sure he has a
GM,
great family. I'm sure he's raised great children. I wish him nothing but the best in life. I just want him to know during your time here in Detroit, sir, you were obese, Oompa Loompa. Thank you.
All right, I can't. You know what? I quit. No, I'm just... I can't cover him no more.
I don't need anybody to cover him. Take it away, Kennedy.
Why don't you like him as an announcer? You don't like him as an announcer? He was on TNT.
No, he's a good announcer. He's a horrible GM, horrible coach.
Okay. I think his coaching style is a little outdated. Players,
he was good in Orlando.
Yes,
and then he never recovered. Sorry.
Yes.
Goodbye. Don't want to hear
the facts. We'll be back for Friday. Friday, everyone.
Just send
Friday.
a thumbs up in the chat if you agree with me that SVG is a obese Oompa Loompa. I'm very curious what people think of this.
Don't do that, everyone. All right. Well, thank you all so much for hanging out with us here on the Morning Wood. Do not forget we have BDE, a.k.a. Big D Energy, up next from 11 to 1. So make sure you're tuning in for that. We will see you tomorrow. This is Woodward Sports.